Okay, we're going to reconvene the Board of County Commissioners meeting. And we're going to start with speakers. I'm not going to read the whole spiel again about public comment, but would you please hold your comments to 3 minutes if possible. First, Tim Hoteling. Tim, I know you already know it, but if you'd give a name and address for the record, please, sir.
Tim Hoteling, 105 Riverside Way, San Mateo. I was just curious if we're going to have any kind of a reporting for the public as to where some of these funds from the tax increases are going to be expended. Because you got 10.8% last year, and inflation was terrible, but not that terrible. And then 8% or whatever this year. I did see that supposedly you got 40 new fire trucks, thanks to Matt's information. So I know that cost a chunk. But I was just curious if there was any plan as to what you're going to do with it, number one. And number two, assurance that you've taken care of the legal requirement for the minimum wage increase.
Yes, sir. As a matter of fact, we're even further along than what we were required to be. We're at 15. Let me see if I can take a poke at this, Tim, as easy as I can. We had a lot of expenses go up this year, a lot of expenses. Today in the meeting alone, we had our insurance expense went up over $200,000 higher than what we had already thought that it was going to go up, which was about $230,000 higher than what it was last year. So it's just increase in expenses is what it is.
I guess my point being examples like that, when you just put an advertisement in the paper that says, this is the money we're collecting and this is the money you're going to pay, and get here if you want to say it, it'd go down smoother to the public that doesn't have the opportunity to come here if you put a little verbalization behind it from the staff.
Okay, thank you, Tim. Elliot Kane.
Afternoon, Commissioners. I'm Elliot Kane. I live at 546 County Road 207A in East Palatka. I am a big proponent of the increase that you're asking for. I think it's reasonable at this time, and I know how the county's been behind for a number of years. Expenses do go up. But one of the things I was hoping you would take a look at is the expansion of the landfill. Let's see if we can't look at that. I hate for Putnam County to become the regional trash dump of this area. And I know that increases come and you have all sorts of ways to, lots of things that you need to spend money on, but I was hoping that that perhaps we could just concentrate on the trash in Putnam County rather than selling our services to the other counties around. I understand it's profitable. I know we have all of that, but just the whole idea, you know, a lot of us grew up with Putnam, with Hudson Pulp and Paper and the odor back then, and so we're really glad the money they spent to clean up our water, and certainly we pride the community in this, the bond issue we have for our new schools. We're making great progress. Seminole has spent how much money to eliminate coal? Yeah. So I think perhaps we could spend some money to see if we can't reduce our dependence on other counties for our own landfill, that would just be something that just seems positive and something we should be doing. So I just hope that you can take a look at that, and of all the other things you have, which I know is a lot, that's just, and this may be the wrong forum, the wrong time to ask the question, but perhaps that can be considered this year when you start looking at ways to spend money. Perhaps we can find a way to reduce our dependence on other counties for our landfill.
Thank you, Elliot. Thank you. Commissioner Adams, did you have something?
Yeah, it's interestingly, I talked to Jay today kind of about this, and we have kind of cut back a bit on the other county stuff, refuse, according to what Jay was telling me. So it's kind of surprising to me. So that's kind of, we're going down that path. And then he's also increased some efficiencies there at the landfill from what our conversation was to cut some expenses. So I think that's kind of already happening organically, just for information that I got today. to pass on to you, so.
Okay, thank you. Is there any further comment from the public at this time? Okay, seeing none, I'll close public comment and move to the resolutions that need to be passed.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we pass Resolution 23-120, a resolution of the Board of County Commissioners of Putnam County, Florida, adopting the final levy of ad valorem taxes for Putnam County for fiscal year 2023-24. Number one, the fiscal year 2023-2024 Putnam County-wide operating millage is 8.9999 mills, which is 8.4% higher than the calculated rollback rate of 8.2987 mills. The fiscal year 2023-24 non-county-wide operating millage for fire tax unit municipal service taxing unit MSTU is 1.1 mills, which is the same as last year's millage rate. This rate is 12.07% higher than the rollback rate of 0.9815 mils. Number three, together the aggregated millage is 9.9616 mils, which is 8.77% higher than the aggregate rollback rate of 9.1585 mils. That's my thing, Mr. Chairman.
Clarification, could I have you reread item A?
Excuse me?
For-
A? I don't have an A, I have a
Need
one.
One.
Easy for you to say, but I'll do it. The fiscal year 2023-24 Putnam County-wide operating millage is 8.9999 mils, which is 8.4% higher than the...
Yeah, he's not.
He's not reading.
Go to
from
page
A.
283, Larry, and read 6A. And I appreciate you bringing that up. 'cause I wanted
285
that
is
in
our
there, too.
resolution.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Well, we're reading it straight off the resolution.
The resolution is fine, but the motion needs to include the language in A, B, and C on the cover sheet, which says the first motion to pass will be A, B, C. The only thing he's missing is a portion of sentence A. You can read it. I'd be happy to read it.
I'll do it. The fiscal year 2023 Putnam County-wide operating millage rate of 8.999 mils, which is 0.3100 less than the millage rate for the prior year, but 8.45% higher than the rollback millage rate of 8.2987 mils. And that then include item B and C.
It's fine on the resolution.
B and C are the same. It's just the statute's very particular on what we have to say.
Not a problem. That's why we got you here, sir, to keep us out of trouble. Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Commissioner Adams, act.
I think we missed an opportunity here. I'll obviously be voting no. I think we're already seeing where some of the housing prices and other things are going down slightly, and I think that's still going to be made up for, like I've said all along, with new sales and commercial, basically converting blank properties to new properties that have houses on it is going to be where we still see our increase here in Putnam. That's going to be unique here because we have some growth to happen. That some of it's going to grow further because of some of the other counties condensing, I think. So I think we're still in good shape we'll see potential growth or flatline next year, even though we see that 10% reduction in the latest data. But I think we just missed the boat on rolling back millage to the full rollback, in my opinion, just because I think we had that opportunity because we had such a huge increase. But I'll leave it there.
Commissioner Harvey?
Yeah, I disagree with Commissioner Adams, although I do respect your position. We just went from 9.3099 down, and our chairman led us down this path that I was skeptical at first, to be very honest with you, but I'm very much in favor of reducing the millage as much as we can and being prudently, fiscally, financially responsible. We do have some big ticket items. We have reserves that are sitting out there that we can bring in some planes to land, if you will, projects that have been on the books for a long time. So I'm looking forward to this new millage rate. We did reduce it, even though social media acts like we don't. We did, and I don't govern by social media. But in my book, when you go from 9.3 down to 8.9, that's a reduction, and I support this wholeheartedly.
Social media is saying that we didn't lower taxes. It's not saying we didn't lower millage, to be clear. And we definitely did not lower taxes. We raised taxes.
Okay, is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I'm not in favor.
I know you're not, that's why I looked at you.
I
when
got
said
excited.
opposed.
I looked at you too there.
You about made me fall out of my chair.
I was trying to. It would have been funny for the kids.
So, I guess, do we have to do roll call because we have a dissent? Okay, so Ashley, I need you to call. We have to do roll call, okay. On both resolutions or just this one? Okay. Resolution, roll call vote, please.
Yes.
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 No.
Okay, thank you. Motion passes 4-1.
Mr. Chairman, I move resolution 23-122, hoping I get this one correct in our book. A resolution of the Board of County Commissioners of Putnam County, Florida, adopting the final budget for fiscal year 2023-24. The fiscal year 23-24 final budget would be adopted. It would be to adopt fiscal year 23-24 budget, all funds, $251,823,832.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Bless you.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll go roll call. Ashley?
Yes.
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 No.
Okay, motion passes 4-1. Okay, is there anything else to come before the board today? Hearing none, this meeting is adjourned. One more budget season.
That's right, exactly.